All right, Jesse, I am pumped and excited to talk to you. Let's start first. Family dynamic. What you do for work?
Yeah, so for me, I've been in marketing capacity for the past 15 to 18 years, everything from business to business to food and beverage. So I'm always working to connect audiences with the right product and the right product as a solution to um, the right audience, the right people.
And then from a family perspective, what does that look like?
From a family perspective, I am a divorced dad. So I've been divorced for, 15 years now. So I've shouldered the burden of kind of playing both roles in the household. And my son's 19 and he is a freshman, just finished his freshman year at Shippensburg University. So a lot of the childhood is behind us, but
Mhm.
the dynamic and the relationship between father and son is still um, very important and developing and evolving. So
Gotcha. Okay. So, and then what was the trigger kind of reason behind jumping into the Warrior Dad experience?
I think as you mentioned, it's kind of a different timing than I think most dads, but it was really kind of the opportunity as it was presented, and I had met you,
Mhm.
and kind of done my own research on the side. But I think the other part of it is that um, I believe in evolving as we grow, and I think that you never stop learning, you never stop educating yourself, and I saw it as an opportunity to develop myself and continue to develop myself in a situation where my son was spending more and more time with other people and less time with me. So the time that I spent with him, I felt like I wanted to capitalize on it more and be more intentional about what our discussions were and how I'm able to help him, because you go from being the hands-on parent and making
Mhm.
sure that everything's happening on a day-to-day basis to they go off to college and you don't know what they're doing. So
Right.
it's kind of helping to build that foundation a little bit better.
Gotcha. Appreciate that. So, jumping in the 10 weeks, what are three things that really stood out in your mind, either, from your personal growth or, the relationship with your son? What have you seen?
So first and foremost is really even just in 10 weeks is a tiny blip on the radar, but it's also a lot of time whenever you're investing, and like you said, you burn the boats and you go all in. Um, I think the biggest thing for me was um, developing a deeper relationship with my son and being more intentional about the conversations that we had. And for me, I've listened to podcasts, I've read, I've kind of immersed myself in this, but I
Mhm.
never really felt like I knew how to implement. And you can hear all the strategies and everything, but it's like the application of it is what's
Mhm.
important in anything that you do. So
Right.
for me, the biggest thing in this Warrior Dad experience was the concentrated organization and direction for implementation. So I've been able to kind of transform, these things that I've heard and these bigger ideas into day to day. This is what we're doing,
Mhm.
from the bookends to um, the intentionality, I think, are the things that I really took away from it.
Gotcha. And I know your son started implementing some of these things. How have you seen that kind of growth in him with this time over the summer that you've gotten with him?
Yeah, so he came home from school in May, and there was the sleeping till noon, and sometimes later.
Right.
And I started to share with him right away, because that's kind of when we were getting started, and I kind of shared with him right away. This is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. And those bookends for me, again, have always kind of loosely been there, but
Mhm.
this really gave me the kind of this is how this kind of sets in stone how we're going to start and finish the day.
Yep.
And so it's taken a couple weeks, but there's been a proactive approach on his part to start to do this more recently and implement some, if not all of those items on a daily basis. And the like I mentioned earlier, the end of the day is kind of his the one that he kind of pokes fun at, but he's been a lot better about, putting the phone down, getting out of that digital world. So it's good.
Love it. So, Dad, considering jumping in, what would you say to him?
Um, if you're going to do it, 100% burn the boats, dive all the way in and just kind of let go of perceptions, let go of, like I said, I learned all this stuff, or thought I learned all this stuff from podcasts and everything. I think it's
Yep.
just kind of like start with a clean slate and be completely open, to building a foundation. And you're obviously going to be able to implement some of those things that you've heard in the past. Like I said, this is about application and about running with it and leaning forward. So that's the difference for me. And I think I can't think of one thing that we talked about that wasn't applicable to just everything that I've done for, almost 50 years. So it all applied to me. So I don't think that there was any wasted time. I think it's a great investment.
Awesome. Jesse, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.